A rotation animation gives us a couple parameters that we can work with. So to begin, we're just going to drag a primitive down here, and we'll use a torus, and let's just throw a material on it so that we'll be able to see it better. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate this once. So at 0 on the Y rotation, I'm going to set a keyframe, and I want to go 1 rotation. So I'm just going to type in 360 and hit set key. Now it creates our animation icon, so I'm just going to click on that, and it takes us into the stage. I rewind my timeline, I hit play, and you can see the rotation there. If I want to slow it down, I can just spread this keyframe out a little bit, and it will slow down the animation, and now it rotates a little bit slower. Now once we have a rotation keyframe, if we click on that keyframe, on the far right here, we have the X, Y, and Z rotation parameters, and we have the time. So I can adjust my keyframe here. My keyframe is highlighted, and if I needed to add a little X rotation, I could come in here and add a little X rotation, and it updates this keyframe in real time. So I hit start, and now you can see it has a little X rotation. If I want to reset that, I can just reset that, and again, it updates it in real time. Now, when you do work with rotation parameters, a couple things that you need to work with. Since we are working with an X, Y, and Z, and if we click on our keyframe, down here in our spline window, you can see a very light rotation X, and we have these splines. So as I come down here and adjust my splines and I hit play, you can see how it adds a little rotation X onto this, even though our keyframe numbers on the far right are set to 0. So if I click on each one of these keyframes, it says each one is set to 0. And you can see when I click on these different keyframes how it has a numeric value in the Y setting, but nothing in the X or the Z. So if I want to set these back to normal or to linear, I can just come up and use these 5 buttons up here and set however I want to use the handles. I just want to set these to linear, so I'm going to highlight the last keyframe, set the linear left and right, select the first keyframe, and hit linear left and right. Since it is a rotation and we have an X, Y, and Z to concern ourselves with, when we do have a rotation animation, we also get these 1, 2, and 3 numbers up here in the upper right of the stage. And if I click on number 2, now it tells us in faint words here the rotation Y. So I can use these spline handles to adjust the rotation Y further. So when we come out and adjust these handles and hit play, you can see how that affects it. So you can use these handles to ease in, ease out, or create any type of speed or angle that you may want to use on the Y rotation. In this case, I just want to make them linear. So I'm going to come up and hit the linear left and right button again, and I'm just going to highlight each keyframe to do that and hit the linear left and right. Now, we also have a Z, so we have to come up here and hit this show spline 3. When we do that, now it tells us rotation Z. And again, we have these handles that we can adjust. So once it's adjusted and I hit play, it affects the rotation. I'm going to make this one linear left and right as well, and then it gets rid of those spline handles. So now the next thing I want to do is to loop this. So if I want to loop this, I'm going to click on our rotation word here in this left column, or click in between each keyframes on the blue bar. And when I do that, it opens up a new window on the right. So I'm going to click on our loop out, and I'm just going to hit infinity. And now it creates this extra line here with these stroked keyframes. And when I hit play, it's just going to continuously loop steady at a good loop point. What's more, if I needed to swing it, I could just turn on the swing button. Now it's just going to swing back and forth.